Hey guys, it's Mashaya. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, because I know it's been so long since I've uploaded anything on here. But I wanted to do a recap of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, simply because I used to be like the biggest fan of Keeping Up with Kardashians. I'm talking about way back at the original house. Kim, I think she was red dress in front of her family, stepping in front of them. Like, I'm talking about OG Kim that was on Cribs. I used to be like Keeping Up with the Kardashians fan, and I don't know why. I just fell off for some years. I gave them a break, gave it a rest. But I recently saw an interview with Kanye and Kim in their living room, and that was kind of cute to me. And then I saw, of course, the commercial of the premiere episode, and I was like, oh yeah, this looks like it's gonna be good, it's gonna be juicy. So why not do something different on my channel, have something to upload every week. And also, before we get started, I do want to make y'all aware, in recaps 1, 2, and 3, you will see me with the same t-shirt on. Anybody got time? Oh, let me change shirts and make it look like I recorded this on 3 different days. Anybody got time for that? I'm knocking these hoes out back to back to back. So just so y'all aware, just so y'all know, I'm gonna actually link where I got this shirt from. I have a friend, he does custom tees, hoodies, jackets, sneakers, literally anything, you name it, he can customize it. So I'm gonna put his Instagram and his website in the description box. So we start off the episode with Khloe. She is dressed as her mother, Kris, which I find hilarious, because I remember, I think it was the last episode of the last season, when they were sitting at the table, they had to dress as someone else, another family member. And I remember she dressed as Kris then. And she was at the table like, Matthew, my phone slipped out of my hand. It isn't supposed to slip. And I just thought that was so funny. So basically, as Kris, she just kind of recapped where everyone is in their life, what they've been up to. Khloe and Kim, they took it upon themselves to go to the Bahamas with their families. And Kourtney, she went off by herself to Italy. I do have my phone here, just obviously to make sure I'm saying everything right, going in the correct order. So in this first scene, we have Kim. She's in New York. She actually has an interview with the news, just talking about her clothing line, Skims, how she's so proud of it. This is like literally the most confident she's been in doing something. Like, even with her makeup, she said this is the most confident I've been in something, which is great. Like I said, her line is full of basic essentials that are in a variety of nudes, which of course every woman needs. You know, you can never get rid of a basic piece. You can literally pair it, match it with like almost any and everything. And she also has a collab with Winnie Harlow, the model, for her beauty line. And they show that briefly with her taking pictures with Winnie Harlow. Concluding that interview, she leaves in her car, and I guess, of course, Tristan, which is Khloe's baby daddy, he spotted Kim coming out of the hotel, or the building that she was in, called her and said, hey, was that you that just left? And she's like, yeah, that was me. I just wrapped up an interview, but I grabbed some drinks with my friends later. I don't suppose you can come? And he was like, yeah, of course, sure, I'll make it. I'll be able to come. She was like, you know, maybe if you want to just pop up, you know, for dessert. Basically saying if you want to just pop up at the end. And it was just kind of awkward on the phone. Like, you can tell she was kind of talking ahead of herself, and she didn't realize what she did until it was already done. And so she kind of, you know, hurried up and clicked him off the phone. And then she was like, oh my God, Khloe's gonna kill me. So she calls Khloe, lets her know, and Khloe is like, oh my God, did you really did that? Like, that's so big of you. And she was like, I don't have a problem with it. It's just, you know, like, I just think that's really big of you. It's no big deal. Everyone knows what he did to Khloe. Everyone knows he cheated on Khloe. You know, there was this big thing going around with him and Jordan. But at the end of the day, you know, Kim is True's aunt, and they're still a family, and they have to be somewhat cordial. So it's important for them to still have somewhat of a good relationship. And I know later on in the episode, they showed a flashback of how bad their relationship used to be, and how Kim used to drag him and talk about him. But growth is always important. And then also Kim even goes to say how, you know, their mom cheated on their dad. So kind of not excusing the behavior, but just being able to relate to forgiveness and moving on, moving forward, and letting things, you know, just be water under the bridge. Moving on to the next scene, we have a brief clip of Kylie. I think she's sitting with her mom, and she's just talking about how she's excited to be 22. And this is a thing that really I was like, girl, you reaching. When she's like, yeah, I'm 22, but I feel like I'm 47. Like, girl, you're reaching. Like, I understand you've been on TV for a very long time. Your life has been under the microscope for a minute now, but you reaching, talking about you feel like you're 47. I get it, you booked and busy, but don't reach so much, okay? And then she's also talking with her mother how she's excited that she's going to be the creative director for her collab fashion show in Paris with, I think it's Olivia or Bolivia and Balmain. So now we're with Courtney. Courtney is back in glam. Her assistant comes in the room, lets her know she has a shoot to do. Of course, she's shooting for the show. She has to meet with her attorney. I don't think they said specifically what she has to meet with her attorney about, but I remember they said she has to meet with her attorney, and also she has to do a segment for Architectural Digest. Now, if you don't know what that is a YouTube channel where they basically have exclusive access to celebrity houses, mansions, and other, you know, big poppin' popular places, touring the house, looking where they got everything from, and all of that, things like that, just showing off basically. When Courtney gets up, she's like, I really just don't feel like getting glam today. And Chloe's like, okay, well, you don't have to get glam if you don't want to get glam. And Courtney was like, well, I'm not shooting without glam. So basically you're saying that you don't feel like shooting. Just say that direct. For her to say, I'm not gonna shoot without glam, well, obviously if you have all these things to do today, you're the one dragging it, and of course your attitude ain't gonna make it no better. So Chloe cuts her off and she says, have you ever just woke up and bothered to say a prayer of gratitude, just to be thankful for what you have, what you're able to do, and just take it all in and give yourself that time in the morning before you start your day? Courtney's just in her phone, not paying attention, and she's like, okay, I guess that was for the producers then, because she's not paying attention. And let me tell you, it was not only for them, it was for me as well, because I definitely need to improve in that area. I do wake up, you know, I say a little thank you Jesus, thank you God, but I could do a whole lot better, because there's a whole lot of things that I am very grateful for, and a lot of things that I should be grateful for, and I need to let that be heard. Even though obviously, like, God already knows that I'm thinking it, it means a whole lot more for it to come out of my mouth. So producers weren't the only one that took it, Chloe. I took it as well. Now we go back to the scene with Kim at dinner. She's with Lala, Anthony, Winnie Harlow, her date, and whoever else is at the table. I'm not sure. I think it was just those. And then also Jonathan, Kim's best friend, Jonathan. So she's laughing. She's kind of nervous to tell them what she did, obviously inviting Tristan. So she's like, guys, I have to tell you something. And they're like, what? I invited Tristan, Chloe's baby daddy. And immediately when he's like, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, like, I was just like, dang, like she just flat out outright said it, like, I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut, I ain't gonna say nothing. And I feel, girl, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, keep your mouth shut. And of course, you know, as women, we gotta stick together. When these men do us dirty, I'm not finna sit up here and kiki with you, not me. When he comes in, he comes alone, doesn't bring a date. Of course, it's awkward. There's the elephant in the room because their life is under a microscope, so they can barely move without anybody knowing. So he sits at the table. It's a little awkward at first, but once Kim kind of opened the conversation and, you know, everyone else saw that they were bonding and they were cool, that's when everyone else kind of backed up off his back a little bit and made conversation with him and talked and laughed. And then, you know, Kim was like, you know, I told Chloe that you were coming, and he was like, yeah. I also followed up with Chloe and let her know that you invited me, and she's all good, she's cool. So that was really nice. Again, just speaking to their maturity, moving on with the situation that happened. There's nothing we can do about it but move forward and hope that, you know, nothing like that will ever happen again. Moving on to the next scene, we have Courtney, Kim, and Chloe. They're in the kitchen. I can't remember whose house they're in, but they're all in the kitchen and they're talking about their trip to Costa Rica. This was for North's birthday party. I believe it was North. And Kim paid for the house, the plane, and just organizing the whole trip, everything. She paid for all of that. And I think they said they had to kick security and production on a commercial flight. Had to put them on a commercial flight. And Kim felt like because she paid for the plane, the private plane, the house, and all the organizing, it was nothing for Courtney to take the other half of the bill. Courtney didn't like that. She had a problem with it. She's like, well, if it was for the family, but production was there and it's content that's really for the show, why is production not paying for it? Which I kind of agree, but at the same time I don't, because I feel like if Courtney paid, if all these K's, if Kim paid for the private plane, the house, and organization, that's 3 things. If she can pay for that out of her own pocket, then why can't you pay for some little petty commercial flight? Then I also question, why is Chloe not paying for anything? If obviously it's 3 sisters, or you can split it all 5, but I feel like that's doing a whole lot. I feel like it's doing a whole lot to split it amongst 5 sisters. But really, especially while Chloe is standing right there, why is she not brought into the equation of, hey bitch, why didn't you bother to pitch in? Then Chloe, of course, she had an opinion, standing right there watching them argue, go back and forth. She had an opinion, and then Courtney became real snappy with her to say, mind your business, this has nothing to do with you. And Chloe got right back with her and let her know, look, if you don't want me to have 2 cents in it, don't discuss it in front of me. And I agree, if you don't want me to have no 2 cents and say where you're right or where you're wrong or whatever, then don't say nothing in front of me and think that I'm supposed to just stand there and be quiet and just let you be wrong, or even let you be right and not have a reason to back you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't supposed to back you up, or I ain't supposed to say, bitch, you ain't right on that. We move on to the scene with Kendall and Kylie, where Kylie shows Kendall her collaboration, like the little makeup kit that she has with Balmain, the makeup palette. And Kendall's like, basically, why am I here? And she's like, well, I'm the creative director, so I need you to help me make a look. I'm gonna do a look on you, and then you're gonna help me, learn how to walk, because obviously Kendall is more of the model. She's the runway model. She's the queen of the shoulders and the swing of the arms, as we saw in the episode. So Kylie's helping Kendall by helping her do the makeup, and Kendall's helping Kylie learn how to walk so that she can walk in the show. So we go back to Chloe's house, where she has a little dinner with everyone. Everyone's there, including the kids. The kids are on the inside, all the adults are on the outside. However, this is Chloe's first time sitting down with Tristan without Shu in their presence, and they just don't have anything to really talk about. But Kim is like, you're my friend. You can come sit with me. You don't have to go inside with the kids. And Chloe finds it a little awkward. And of course I did too, because I'm like, girl, I can understand, okay, you're trying to be, family oriented. You're trying to make things better. You're trying to smooth things out. But at the same time, you can be doing a little too much when you kikiing and cacaing with your sister's ex. It's kind of doing a lot. You can tell it was very forced. It was very awkward for all of them at the table. But I think Kim was she was just trying her best. Like, that's all she was doing. She was just trying her best to make it less awkward, which actually, to me as a viewer, made it even more awkward that it was a forced conversation. Moving on to the next scene, we are back in Paris, where it is a few days before the show, and Chris gets a notification that Kylie is sick, terribly sick. And of course, being that the show is right around the corner, she sends a doctor to the house immediately to check on her, to make sure she's okay, make sure that she can still make it. And right away I could tell she cared more about her being there than her health. And I'm like, that's not a good look as a mom, like mom, manager, momager, whatever. You know, obviously you need to know when to switch that hat on and off. And if I'm sick, even if you're my mom, you're my manager. If I'm sick, I expect you to be concerned as a mother, not as a manager to say, okay, well, you can't do your job. I understand that might cost me, like, in the future, in the long run. But if I say that I'm like really, really ill, then I expect you to take that more serious. A few days later, we are now in Chloe's closet with Chloe and Kim, which, by the way, I found was freaking amazing, fantastic. Like, it was so organized, color coded, all the nudes together, all the blacks, reds, yellows, prints, the bodysuits, all the dresses, all the sequins, all, like, it was just so perfectly, like, dream closet, everything perfectly organized. And somebody that is just a neat freak, it is their dream closet. Kim's going through her stuff. Chloe had to basically tell Kim to slow down a little bit, and Kim was like, am I doing it again? And then Chloe laughs and she's like, you know, it's just who you are as a person. It's nothing against you. I appreciate, you know, you're my sister, and it's just your warm heart. I greatly appreciate it, but you have to understand that was my first time sitting down with Tristan without True. The last thing that Chloe wants is any gray areas with Tristan. You know, basically saying, I don't want him to think he got a chance again. She don't want no gray area. She don't want no any miscommunication, any confusion where, you know, he can take things out of context because they're spending quality time together again without True involved, which obviously can bring about gray areas like, oh, do you want me back? Do you want this relationship back? Is that why we're spending time together? So she basically wants him to still stay in the doghouse and stay 50 feet away. Going back to Paris, we're back with Chris again. She gets a sneak peek of the collection. It's very cute. But seeing how Kylie is just so ill, she calls Kendall and asks her, she says, do you think, you know, you're able to make it? Can you please, like, she's begging her at this point. If she can't do it, do you think you can do it? And she's like, Mom, there's no way I can do it. I'm already busy. How dare you expect me to just pack my things up and leave, and I already have stuff. Basically, I already have my fashion shows and my shoots and everything. I already have my appointments booked. You know, basically she said, how dare you, like, just assume that I can just get up and leave my stuff. Even though that's my sister, I understand, but I can't help her in this case because I'm already booked and busy. And I was like, okay, girl, I feel you. You booked, you busy, you got your own shit to do. Now we're back at Chloe's house. It's Chloe, Courtney, Kim. You can tell already in this clip, Kim is over it. She's on her phone, just sitting back, really letting Chloe be the mediator, the one to talk. So Chloe expresses to Courtney how she feels that her jokes are extremely rude, and Courtney kind of laughs it off. She's like, well, I just won't joke with you, or I just won't say those things if you can't take the joke. And Chloe's like, I know what a joke is. It's not a joke. She said her jokes authentically allow her to be an asshole. And I wholeheartedly agree that she can dish it, but she can't take it. How she says it is supposed to be a joke, but when somebody else says something back to her, then it's an insult. Like, no, you dish out the same thing. You give out insults. The way you say things, the way it comes off, it's extremely rude. Your tone is rude, it's off. It's not a joke. You mean to be an asshole about something sometimes, and you just need to own it. If you're gonna be an asshole, just own it. Period. Then after Chloe communicates, you know, what she has to say, Kim gets off her phone and then she says it's just super negative, bad vibes. And then Courtney in confessional says that for the past 3 years, it's always been her and Kim against Chloe, or no, her and Chloe against Kim. Now it's them two against her, and she feels some type of way about that. So in this second to last scene, we have Kim with her best friend Jonathan. They're spending lunch together, just having some quality time, and Kim's phone is just blowing the F up, like blowing up nonstop. And of course, we all know who it is. It is Chris. she can't have Kendall do it, so her next resort is Kim, the big dog. She hits up Kim. She's asking, begging, pleading, can you please do this for me, because Kylie's sick, she can't do it. Kim explains to Jonathan how she would love to do it. Of course, she would love to just come in clutch for her sister, but because they've spent so much time trying to differentiate Kylie Cosmetics and KKW Beauty, it just wouldn't look good at all after all that work they did to differentiate it, for her to go to the fashion show and then it be, you know, confusing as to, okay, is this Kylie Cosmetics or is this KKW Beauty? Because we see Kylie's name everywhere, but Kim is here. So I understand that, even though we're sisters, I would love to help you, look out for you, come in clutch, but I can't do that because of my own brand. She even starts laughing because she's like, Chris is offering me, I think at first she offered, did she offer 200,000 and then she went up to 300,000, or she offered 300 and she went up to 400,000 cash? She was like, I'll give it to you right now. I'll send you a private jet to fly out here right now. She's cracking up hysterically. She's like, I know she's legit. I know she's a woman of her word, but I just cannot do it. I can't afford to have our brands clash again. But even after all that laughing, Kim is really concerned that, you know, Kylie just has strep throat. She has some minor illness. And she also tells Jonathan, like, you know me, you know, like, I would go on my deathbed. Is this really that bad of an illness where she can't go? She kind of questions her own sickness and is like, I think she can pull through. She's just not willing to. Okay, so now we get into the juiciest part, the best part of the episode, which I ain't gonna lie, I did not think they were going to air this so soon, because, you know, usually with any reality show, they wait till like maybe the 4th or 5th episode because they want to keep you engaged, they want to keep you locked in. They said this season we starting off with the bang. We ain't going in no 2-3 episode bump all that. We starting off with the fights. The last scene, we are at Chloe's house. We have Kendall, Kim, Courtney, and Chloe, and True is in the other room asleep. So we have Kim. She's talking to Kendall. She's telling her how, you know, yeah, Chris offered me this. Yeah, she talked to me. She talked to me too. She tried to bribe me too. So they're kind of catching up on their own. Courtney and Chloe, they're on the side catching up on their own. So Kim is talking to Kendall and she says, when it comes down to it, Chris can rely on her and Chloe the most. And Kendall cuts her off. She's like, and me too. And Kim's like, well, you get sick a lot. And she was like, are you kidding me? Like, right off the rip, Kendall was not having it. She's like, you're not about to play with me how you tried to play with Courtney over here. Like, or Kylie. She's like, you're not about to play with me. Like, she said I have major anxiety attacks. I get really sick. I still work my ass off. Like, I will literally come over there and attack you right now. I think that's what she said. She said, I will literally come over there and attack you right now. When Kim is done talking to Kendall, she then turns to Courtney and Chloe and says, well, I was saying Chloe and I, and when she corrected herself, Chloe was like she peeped the shade. She knew she was being funny when she said that. And so Courtney was like, you act like, yeah, but you act like I don't do shit, do you know? And that's when she tried to interrupt her. Kim tried to interrupt Courtney. She was like, no, because I will literally F you up. I'm sick of hearing it. Say it one more time and I'm gonna F you up. And then Kim just starts laughing. She doesn't take her seriously. This is where I have a problem, because I feel like Kim and Courtney, they both have kids, okay? I feel like this comes from Kim having more of an expectation from Courtney than she has for herself. Like, even though Kim is this super mom that gets it all done, she can do Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she can do her skin, she can do her, you know, her cosmetics, she can do, you know, photo shoots, interviews, this, that, and third, yada, yada. She expects Courtney to hold that same weight in the same way. And if she can't do that, or she doesn't want to do that, you can't really fault her for that. And I feel like that's where the tension and the animosity is coming from. Kim feels like, if I can do it, then you can do it. She might not be able to handle it, or she might not want to she might not want to handle it, because we all know Courtney is about her kids, she's about her family. She doesn't really care about filming. As we saw in the beginning of the show, she's over it. Family is more important to her than this. To her, this is bull crap. This is her last priority. But again, I understand Courtney's frustration, where she's pissed off with Kim, acting like Courtney doesn't do anything to pay her bills, to take care of her family, just because Kim does that on a much bigger scale. Courtney goes on to say, but also, if I didn't want to work my ass off and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, that's fine, literal. And I was like, when she said that, I was like, ooh, girl. Then she got up and gave her a little sneak peek, a little preview. If you don't shut your mouth, you don't be quiet, this what you gonna get. Kim was like, oh no. So she got, don't you ever come at me like that. I swear to God, I'll punch you in your face. She said, well, do it then. Do it. And so they had their little, you know, kindergarten slaps back and forth, kicking each other, whatever. Then they was like, okay, it's a little more serious. And Chloe was like, stop, you guys, separate. Obviously, Kendall and Chloe, they weren't taking it seriously. They were on the side laughing like, okay. Then Kim looks over, she looks out her shoulder, and she sees it's all scratched up. She said, oh, hell no. So she went back for round 2. She said, don't you ever dig your nails in me like that. Courtney's like, do it or shut the F up. Do it or shut the F up. Meaning, what you said earlier, punch me in the face or be quiet. Like, Courtney is over it. At this point, she's like literally over it. She's done. She's like, if you're gonna do it, do it. If not, like, be quiet. Like, we over, we done. She's like, how old are you? So Kim was like, how old are you? She goes, bop, bop. Gave her them good 2 licks. Kind of took Courtney back a little bit. And then Chloe was like, no, separate. Now, Chloe is 5'10". I think she's big, she's tall. So if she wanted to break them up, she could have broke them up. There's no reason why she couldn't have. I think what she wanted to do, she wanted them to just finally get it out. If she really wanted to draw Kim back, she could have done that, but she didn't want to do that. She wanted to see a fight, in my opinion. It's like, no, you guys separate. Then Kim went back for round 3. This is like further in the room, closer to the bathroom. She's like, don't you ever. Usually they wait until like episode 4 or 5. They want to keep you locked in, and they want to keep you watching. They want to keep the viewership up. Nah, baby, they said we're gonna start off with this bang to keep y'all locked in into this season. And honey, I'm definitely locked in because I want to know what's gonna happen after that. So yeah, we're gonna end it there, and of course we're gonna pick it right back up for the second episode recap. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I apologize for not coming out with content any sooner. I just be having my moments. I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna stop talking about it, and I'm gonna be about it. So when I have content up, just be happy. And when I don't, just know that I'm in one of those modes again, okay? Peace.